GTA 6. We know that it's coming out this year, supposedly. That's the rumor, right? GTA 6 is coming out this year. There's rumors that they're getting all the advertising ready. There's rumors that the game is absolutely going to come out this year. No doubt about it, right? However, there is another side of the industry that is also looking at GTA 6, and it's not gamers. It's not players. It's the industry as a whole, right? It's not even just the industry as a whole. You got people from Bank of America commenting on Grand Theft Auto 6 and the significance of this game for a multitude of reasons, right? So I saw this article, and I think it's so hilarious because this article says GTA 6 should be $80 so that the whole supposedly struggling industry can raise game prices according to Bank of America, and that players will accept it because they love AI. Okay, that's a hell of a fucking headline. So we're definitely going to read into this and check it out. But I find this to be hilarious that the industry wants this to happen so that they can raise the price of all their other video games that somehow, some way are going to be equivalent in value to what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be. If Grand Theft Auto 6 is at $80, none of you other motherfuckers, for the most part, should be at $80, with the exception to maybe games like Crimson Desert or whatever. But aside from that, at the end of the day, raising game prices all across the board because one video game was allowed to do it is hilarious. And it shows how out of touch some of these people who comment on the industry actually are. Like Bank of America, what the fuck are they, like, why are you commenting on this? On top of that, what's so funny is that there was an article that was released not that long ago talking about Grand Theft Auto, the developers over at Rockstar. Apparently, they're purposely releasing on console first and not on PC because they view the console players as their core player base. They say, and I'm paraphrasing here, but they say that they believe the console players to be their core player base because they've always released on console first, and that's just what they do. Guys, I'm going to translate that to you. You guys ready for the translation? We are releasing on consoles first because we know that we can absolutely fuck console players and they will pay us prime dollar for this content. We know that PC players are trained to wait for sales. We know that they're not going to necessarily buy this game day one as much as console players will. And we want to maximize our profits by trying to use FOMO marketing in order to sell Grand Theft Auto 6 to people who have both consoles and PCs by making them buy it on console first and then hoping they buy it again on PC, the platform they actually want to play it on, and they'll buy it twice. That's what they're hoping for, ladies and gentlemen. They even admitted that themselves, by the way. They admitted that there are some players that buy the game twice. They'll buy it on PlayStation or console, and then they'll buy it on PC later down the line when it comes out because that's the platform they actually want to play it on because of all the mods and everything. But that's really what it is. That's all it is. They know that that's the case, and here's the reason why. Is because if you look at a recent article that came out as well talking about a couple of analysts that have looked at the overall numbers and how people's spending habits actually are, PC gamers buy way more games that cost less than $30 at launch compared to PlayStation and Xbox players, according to some analysts, and that it's reshaping the PC market completely. Right? So looking at all this, what does that tell you? That tells you that PC players, they don't fuck around when it comes to that stuff, okay? If you look at microtransaction money and the overall spending in live service video games with microtransactions, PlayStation leads like 10-1. The amount of money that they spend over at the PlayStation platform on microtransactions and live service stuff is ungodly. It is ungodly. I do not blame these studios for taking advantage of people that have openly advocated for them to be taken advantage of. As much as we shit on PlayStation and their random pricing that they have, where variable pricing is a thing, and apparently if you spend a lot of money at the store, they're gonna charge you more for a video game compared to someone else who doesn't spend as much money in the store to try to bait them to buy. Like, all these things aside, at the end of the day, a lot of like major PlayStation players are advocating for their own butt fucking. That's really what it is. They're advocating for their own wreckage of their booty hole. Okay, so
Hashtag Nico,
PC
what the
gamers
hell
not so
going
much.
on? AAA games releasing day Armageddons.
Right.
Banks support to @King Gamers. Take-Two confident being DS.
Yep.
Do they know that?
Well, they're confident being dicks because they know that they have a franchise that is the number one normie franchise in the world. They know that, right? If you knew that you had the number one product in whatever industry you're selling in, you're probably, as a business person, you're probably going to try to maximize profit as much as possible as well.
They're going to do
Straight
the
up.
same tactic when
Right.
the PS6 comes out. They're going
Oh,
to
sure.
release it on that console,
Yep.
and then when the PS7, they do
Yep.
it again, just like we did to the PS3 all the way to the PS5.
Grand Theft Auto 6 will be re-released at least like 10 times. At least 10 times. So, in any case, let's read what Bank of America has to say. Here's the best part. Look at this sub-headline. We think it's in Take-Two's self-interest as a publisher and a partner to many developers to raise the price point for the entire industry. They're actually saying that it's Take-Two's basically responsibility to help the industry raise prices. Brother, holy fucking devil mindset that is. That's crazy, man. So it says, sure, you probably consider the effect that paying $80 or more for GTA 6 would have on your own wallet, but have you ever stopped to consider the poor, struggling gaming industry? The multi-billion-dollar publishers that make AAA games can't justify raising their own prices. If a megalith like GTA 6 sticks to the old model, and Take-Two should really just do the rest of the industry a
So
solid
what
and
they're
open
saying is
$80
GTA
floodgates.
6 is full of AI slop.
Basically. It's possible.
Hashtag
Which I
Nico
said
Sonna
that it's
censored and
absolutely going to
micro
have.
slop releasing horrible games, and players are leaning towards more Asian game market like Neverness to Everness being
I saw
new
that.
GTA.
I saw that. Neverness to Everness. I saw that game. Thank you, brother, for the 5. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 10. So I'll tell you like this, man. It's so funny to me. It's so funny to me. These people, they think that they're just going to magically be able to charge $80 for everything. You guys already tried that, right? You guys already tried that. I've already said that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to have AI in it. Generative AI specifically. I'm not talking about AI coding. It already has that. I'm talking about generative AI. It's going to have Gen AI guaranteed somewhere, somehow. And the people that are online right now that are virtue signaling about AI, that are trying to cancel people that utilize AI or don't care about AI or whatever, I guarantee you it's going to be in the game. I will bet money on it. And the moment they find it, they're going to pretend like they never saw it. They're going to pretend like they never saw it because they 100% will look for any excuse to play their normie game. Straight up. They're going to look for any excuse to play their normie game. They're not going to want to have to stand by whatever bullshit convictions they try to convince you they have on social media. They're going to look for any excuse to say, you know what? It's okay if GTA 6 does it. I like the game. It's okay if they do it. I like it. I like it. It's not AI. They said they didn't mean to put it in there. It's not AI. What the fuck? They're going to look for any excuse, bro. Anyway, so it says the following. At least that's the argument made by a Bank of America analyst, Omar, after attending the Icon conference in Las Vegas earlier this month. His team heard from attendees that the industry, which is perceived as struggling, would have difficulty selling games for $80 if GTA 6 came out at $70. Guys, the industry is struggling for a multitude of reasons. They have nothing to do with the price point of the game. The price point of the game and people not buying the games at that price point is reflective at not you having to raise prices. It's reflective at the fact that you guys aren't giving a product that is valued enough to make people want to spend that money on a consistent basis. That's just what it is. Not only that, PC gaming has exploded so much that competition is at its all-time high for consoles. Whether they want to admit that or not, the competition is at an all-time high. And as we talked about in this particular article, PC gamers are on average buying way more video games that are sub $30. They're under $30. So you have the majority of PC gamers buying games under $30, but then you have these assholes that are like, yeah, well, we want to charge 80 instead of 70 now. Nobody's going to want to spend that. Nobody's going to want to spend that, bro. Are you out of your mind? Your content is the reason why nobody wants to spend the money on it. Plain and simple. So all you're going to do by raising the price to $80 is alienate even more people that you already are being alienated by on their own accord. Will players be willing to accept higher prices? Of course they will. According to his team, it's because AI is making games more valuable to players. Never mind the fact that Take-Two CEO Strauss has asserted that there's no AI involved in GTA 6 at all, nor the fact that players have had a pretty negative response every time they've been confronted with AI-generated content. There is going to be AI in this game. I guarantee you. Grand Theft Auto is so massive that even if it's AI placeholders, somebody's going to miss something. And I guarantee you it's going to be AI related, and it will be in the game. I promise you. And the moment people find it, they're going to pretend like they never saw it. Straight up. That's just what it is. This analyst is completely disconnected from reality. This dude probably drinks like 10 coffees a day, drives a fucking Porsche. He works banker's hours. He goes in at 10. He leaves at 2. Like, fuck out of here, bro. This guy has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Grand Theft Auto could come out at $80. That doesn't mean that the entire industry is then going to benefit from it. That's not true at all. At all, whatsoever. Part of why he believes that GTA 6 should be 80 is because of Zelnick's assertion during the conference that the game would be priced in accordance with its value to customers, which was not what Zelnick said, at least not in public. Instead, the CEO insisted that the company aimed to charge way, way, way less of the value that players get out of its games. Yeah, they may say that, but whether or not that actually happens, that remains to be seen. Because you could say, hey, we're charging way, way less compared to the real value, and you can still charge $100. You could just think that $100 is way, way less. It doesn't mean that it's going to be $80 or $70. It doesn't mean that. GTA 6 is expected to be a system seller with the PS5 prices north of $600. It's easy to imagine prospective Grand Theft Auto players looking at these rapidly spiking price tags and saying no thanks. I'll be real with you. People are like normies. They're going to absolutely find any reason to buy GTA. All right. For them, there's so many people out there that only play GTA, especially with GTA Online now. There's so many people out there that only play Grand Theft Auto. They are absolutely going to do everything possible to get that next Grand Theft Auto the moment it comes out. This will be the biggest selling game in history. There's no doubt in my mind. This game is going to sell ungodly amount of copies, especially within the first month. It's going to be unreal. But that doesn't mean that they somehow now excuse the rest of the industry from doing the bullshit that it wants to do. The industry is like a crackhead looking at crack. And the crack, unfortunately for them, is locked behind a box that they think the key for the box is charging more money. But the key for the box to get that crack is actually giving players what they want. Making gamers happy will summon the key to your crack. But you don't want that because you're so cracked out that you think that the only way to open that box is to get the key that is titled raising prices. That's what you think. That's how you view it. That's how the industry views it. They are so desperate to want to raise the prices. They're looking for any excuse to raise those prices. But straight up, they're just not going to be able to. We've already seen them try. Look at what Xbox did. Xbox is currently going through a massive revision right now because they just got wrecked multiple different ways. Do you not remember that Xbox was like, oh, Nintendo's making video games $80? Fuck yeah. We're going to make Outer Worlds 2 $80. And nobody reserved it. Well, I won't say nobody. But a lot of people didn't reserve it. A lot of people, there was barely any pre-orders. They got wrecked so hard that within 1 month, if not less, they were like, we're actually gonna go back to $70. That's how you know things were bad on the pre-order side. Then the game ends up coming out and you realize the game didn't do well, even at $70. So imagine 80. Imagine $80. The game would have done even worse compared to what it did at 70. So they're already looking. They're looking for a way to do it again. By the way, Nintendo doesn't even do that much anymore, $80. They did like a couple of titles, 1 or 2 titles, that's it. What Nintendo's doing is they're doing $70 games with $30 day one DLC to make it $100. That's what they're doing. That's how they're trying to get people. They're like, you know what? We don't want $80. We want $100. But in order to do this, we're going to make a $70 game with a $30 day one DLC, and then we're going to try to get you for it. That's what they're doing. So, yeah, they tried to do it with Borderlands 4. Yep, they tried to do it with all these games, and every single one of those games reversed course. They were like, yeah, no, we're not doing it. We tried. We got a lot of backlash. We're not doing it. So that's ultimately what's going on.
And the only reason GTA 6 will allow to call $80 or more because the game is just good, the story, graphics, and it never talk bad about the customers. Besides the other gaming industry, they never take accountability or apologize.
Thank you for the 20, Adair Soto. I wouldn't say they don't talk bad about the customers, because the way that Rockstar acts and the way that they speak from a place of such massive fucking egos. They speak from a place of like, well, we got this shit locked down, which is true, by the way. They do got it locked down. But the way that they act towards people, they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want. We're gonna take as much money as we fucking want. We're gonna sell you the same fucking game for 15 years straight, and you're gonna like it. You know, like, it's one of those things. So I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're like, you know, I guess from a statement standpoint, maybe you're right, but from a mindset, they definitely have a pretty fucked up mindset. Anyway, the point is, you have PC gamers that are spending less than $30 at launch for a lot of their video games. It is reshaping the entire way that all of these games are purchased. Check this out. News reports that the $30 to $50 bracket leads across all platforms. $30 to $50. That's the leading price point across all platforms. So this whole, like, $70 is not even there. So what makes you think $80 is going to be there? $30 to $50 is what leads all platforms. But the sub $30 space thrives on PC via breakout indie games. Since 2022, the report says PC, PlayStation, and Xbox have actually seen relatively comparable percentage growth in total sub $30 game sales. 40%, 50%, and 35% respectively. But actual spending tells a different story, with PC eclipsing both consoles, particularly when it comes to new releases. People, guys, I've always said the prime dollar amount, in my opinion, is $25 or less. The golden dollar amount, if you can somehow make it happen as a developer, is $20 or less. $19.99. $19.99 to $24.99 is the price point that most people will say, you know what? They're going to, it's been proven already. It's been studied. This whole thing has been studied. What is the impulse buy number? The impulse buy number is anything $25 or less. $25 or less is considered impulse buy territory, where people will buy a game and they will act on their curiosity without ever thinking about it, because $25 or less, for some people, a lot of people, they're willing to just let it go and not feel bad if it ends up being a bad experience. Once you go past $25 and you start going to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, people start thinking about their purchase. They start thinking about it a lot, because that's a lot of money, right? That is the reason why the impulse buy price point is so important for a lot of these video games, especially if it's a good game. If it's a good game, oh my God, like, think about it. $25 video game ends up being a banger video game. Word of mouth starts spreading, and now you got all these people hearing from their friends how good the game is, and now they're all going to impulse buy the game because now they got validation from their friends, and it's in the impulse buy price point territory. How do you think games like Schedule 1 went as viral as they did? How do you think games like RV There Yet went as viral as it did? How do you think Ball Pit went as viral as it did? How do you think any of these games did? It's because it was at the right price, they were actually good games, and the word of mouth spread like crazy, resulting in a massive fucking flame of sales. You know? So that's really what it is, man. And I think people overcomplicate it. And these executives trying to make this $80 thing a thing when all the numbers point to even $50 being too much for most people. I don't know what makes you think you're going to pull that off. But it's the confidence. It's the GTA 6 confidence. It's false confidence, really. But it's the GTA 6 confidence that's making them say that that's going to happen. So I'm telling you this right now. Anybody watching this, here's what I think is going to go down. I could be wrong. I could be right. I've been fairly on point lately. But I'll say this. The moment GTA 6 comes out this year, at the beginning of next year, you are going to hear about the price increase. You're going to hear AAA studios all across the board. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. They're all going to try the $80 thing again. They're all going to do it. Guaranteed. Even if GTA ends up being $100, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They want video games to be $80. That's what they want to be able to sell their games for $80. The moment GTA 6 releases this year and next year rolls around, at the beginning of the year, or maybe the end of this year, you never know, they're going to announce higher prices for video games. They're going to try again. And whether or not it works, well, that's up to the players. But that's what they're going to try. It's not going to work on PC. I would not even be surprised, and I know this might sound fucking insane to you, but I would not even be surprised that the PlayStation platform, the Xbox platform, and the Nintendo platforms charge $80. But when the PlayStation video games and the Xbox video games go on PC, they will charge $70 or maybe even $60. They will purposely lower their price on PC for the same game that is more expensive on their native consoles. You're probably asking yourself, why would they do that? Well, the numbers support it. And not only that, PlayStation's already doing varied pricing. What makes you think they wouldn't do varied pricing again? I would not be surprised if they try that strategy. Raise it to $80 on consoles only because you know they're going to pay for it over there. Well, some of them anyway. And keep the price at $70 for PC. I would not be surprised. So, I don't know. I know that sounds insane, but think about it. PlayStation is already doing variable pricing. So is it really that insane? Not necessarily. But anyway, that's basically it for the story with this. I just saw this and I'm like, dude, like, I can't believe we're really trying to fucking do this again. Like Bank of America. Why are you talking about this, Bank of America? It's because they want the money, bro. They want the fucking money. As always, man. Money makes the world go round for them. The gaming industry needs to be regulated like utility companies. Yeah, I don't believe that. I gotta be honest with you. I don't want government regulation in the free market. I don't want that. That's a bad idea.